Guys, today I'm going to make a settings video. I'm going to show you my layout, my sensitivity. I don't know if I made one recently. Maybe I have, or maybe I made one and didn't upload it because I was like changing some stuff around. But here's what I'm using for everything. For the controls, I've been using the same since May, May 2020 when I bought my iPad. Um, it's kind of a funny story. I got my iPad because I got a check from the government. Like during COVID, they were handing out checks. Had it not been for that, I would still be playing on the phone. But here's what I use. I do want to say in the bottom left, switch to simplified HUD. It kind of darkens out some of your buttons that you're not going to need until they need to activate, like your UAV, for example. So it's going to stay black until UAV is active or you have enough points to get it, and then you can press the button. So in the bottom left, choose simplified HUD. Here's what I use. Jump, pretty simple. Jump, shoot on the left hand side. The button between the reload and throw grenade, that is how I switch weapons. If I'm like running with a pistol, I just simply just press that button to switch weapons. It's much faster than having to come to the bottom of the screen, bottom middle, and press that weapon there, which is the Type 25. But yeah, here's my loadout. Pretty good. Love it. No issues. For the basic settings, you can copy everything if you want to see it. Let's see, what's the most important thing? You definitely want to have ADS rotation off because what this is going to do when you shoot your weapon, let's say you use your right finger to shoot and your left to aim in, it's going to use your right finger to move around. Whatever button you use to shoot, it's going to use that to move around your screen. It's going to be really crazy. You don't want that to happen. You want your button that you shoot with just to shoot. You don't want it to move around the screen, right? That's what your thumb is for. So you don't want your thumb moving around the screen and the button that you use to shoot when you press it if you're a claw player. If you're a thumb player and you use one button for everything, this doesn't really apply to you. But if you play with three fingers, then yes, turn this off. It is a button for rotation. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I use Sync ADS, but I'm going to explain why I use it and what I don't like about the setting. Teammates markers, turn that on so you can see through the walls and see where they are. You want these gun kick skills on 0 because you don't want recoil. So turn all these weapon performance while ADSing to 0. Same thing, hip firing, turn to 0 and turn 1P DOF off. You don't want any type of extra recoil added to your weapon, so make sure these are on 0. Damage number, I don't care about the damage that I hit. I just want to kill people. Pros, some pros use the damage number. All this does is when you shoot at somebody, it's going to say, hey, you did 33 damage. You need 100 to kill. So that should let you know how many more bullets you need to hit. That's not my thing, but some people like it. I do tap and hold ADS because I'm on iPad, right? So I just hold down my shoot button. Um, always sprint 80. I used to play with always sprint on, but if you're playing against really good players who crouch walk around the entire map, they use noise as any cue to kill you. You don't want to be heard if you're kind of walking around trying to flank somebody, especially in S&D, which I don't play, but it comes in handy. Gyroscope I don't use, so don't pay attention to that. My mini map settings, here's what I use. I think they're pretty good. 50-10, 53-10. Item marker doesn't really matter. What's really is important right here in mini map settings, I use 141 scale, 100 opacity. My eyesight used to be pretty good, but not so great, and that's kind of why I had to make a modification to one of my settings because I'm using Sync ADS, so it's kind of hard to see with 90 FOV. And here's right here what I use for minimap setting at the bottom. I don't play BR, so ignore that. Audio and graphics, low graphics, ultra rate frame rate. Always, always, always. I don't care what anyone tells you. This is the best setting. If you have this $20,000 tablet that you can play on medium graphics or high, go ahead. But for everybody else, low graphics, ultra frame rate adjustment, turn that off. You want it on the max rate. You don't want it on. You want it on the max that your iPad or your phone can provide. So keep that off. I don't play Battle Royale. Uh, you can copy these if you want. Audio settings. You want to have master on all the way up. You have volume. If I'm not mistaken, that's when it's like saying like, oh, the bomb is like bomb planted, something like that. You want that on, but not that high. SFX, you want that on. Music volume off. Voice chat on. microphone on, ambient off. Ambient could be like bird noises. You don't want anything that's not footsteps when you're playing like TDM, for example. That's what I play a lot because it's the easiest to rank up quickly. Team voice all the way on. And then for the effects, choose whatever works for you. There is no best. You want to turn hit effects zooms as this changes off, and you want to have explosion shake off. You don't want any camera shake. Sensitivities. Oh yeah, my big setting. I forgot to say my basic settings. I don't know if I scroll way to the bottom. I think I did earlier, but I use 60 FOV. Where is the stupid FOV setting? Maybe at the bottom. Here it is. I use 60 FOV because I use Sync ADS and it's really hard to see people when you do Sync ADS at longer ranges. So if I use 90 FOV, I won't be able to kill people at longer ranges because it's hard to see. So 60 FOV because I'm an AR player, so I'm not going to be rushing around. So I don't really need to have a wide area. All I really need to do is kind of sit back, hold my angles, and kill anyone that comes. I'm not rushing around with an SMG flicking on people. If I was doing that, I would have to use a higher FOV. But because I'm kind of just sitting back, I'm a passive player, always have been in all my game modes, all my games. Like even when I play League of Legends, I like to play support. Like I just like to just sit back and do my thing. So 60 FOV is really low, but it works. Try it out. 60 FOV with Sync ADS. This will allow you to have the benefits of Sync ADS. We have the low recoil, but still have uh, good vision. You can still see, right? Because you don't have that 90 FOV. Sensitivities, I use fixed speed. If you're on phone, all the pro players use speed acceleration. All that means is you swipe really fast, it's going to move your camera really fast. But if you're on iPad, fixed speed is probably going to be used for you. Um, I use 90. Ignore the tactical and scope out stuff like that. Only thing I would focus on is standard ADS and red dot, because all my other ones should be 90 as well. But I don't use tactical scope or snipers, so I haven't adjusted these values. But it should be 90 for everything, and these are going to match the firing sensitivities. I use 90. I like to keep it very simple, keep it consistent. 90, 90, 90 works for me. If you're going to increase your FOV, you're going to increase your sensitivity. So if I were using a 90 FOV, my sensitivity would probably be 100 something. But firing, saying 90 should be 90 for everything. Keep it consistent. I don't use gyro, so ignore the gyro. I don't play BR, so don't ignore my settings. Ignore my settings, excuse me. I think that's everything. But yeah, so it works for me. I've been doing okay in rank match. Um, losing some, winning some, but the key is 60 works for me. 60 FOV with Sync ADS. It allows me to get a lot of kills and it's helping me rank up pretty easily. I'm Grandmaster 4, so it's been a pretty good season. But that's the video, guys. If you have any questions about my HUD, ask me and let me guys know what you're using. Are you using CKDS? Are you using 90 FOV? 90 FOV does not work because you zoom in way too close. If you're on a phone, that's fine. But if you're on an iPad, 90 FOV is awful because you're not going to be able to get kills up close because you're going to be zooming in way too far. It's going to be hard to get multiple enemies because you can't even see them. 90 FOV is terrible. So that's kind of why I use 60, is because 90 doesn't work. It works for some players, but for me, I really, really hate it. The only downside I will say, if you're going to use low FOV, I don't know if you guys know this, you're going to run slower. It's going to feel like you're running slower. You don't actually run slower, but it's going to feel like you're running slower. You have to get used to that. So the lower your FOV, you're going to feel that sluggish walk, kind of like you're holding an LMG. That is really bad for an SMG player, but I use AR, so I don't really care about like the visual of running fast. It doesn't really bother me, but that's one thing to take note when if you're going to use a lower FOV to counteract sync ADS. But thanks for watching the video, guys. And as always, like, comment, follow, subscribe. You guys know the deal, and I appreciate the support that you guys are giving.